was your awesome idea.
Make that marshmallow yours.
Wait, are you videotaping?
Yeah.
All right, let's all listen to Grace's story.
It was the start of the school year. I was feeling woozy. What if it was just start of school jitters? I ignored it, but it got worse. I knew I must have been sick, but if I was feeling this bad, I think the sickness would have started to change. I waited. If it was a bad sickness, I'm sure someone would have realized, but only I could feel the sickness taking its turn on me. No one else could. I waited for someone to realize, someone to tell me they knew how I felt, someone to comfort me, but no one knew. It had been a month now. Nothing terrible had happened. I just always felt tired. My days were longer. I wasn't focused. My friends started to leave me. But I didn't tell anyone. I know I should have, but I just didn't. And now it's too late. Too late for what? I would find out. I was sick, but no one knew. My mom could tell I was acting strange, but she didn't come for me. No one did. The next thing I knew, I was rushed to the hospital. Why didn't you tell me? My mom asked. I breathed hard. I was afraid. What would happen? I was knocked out. I should have been more alert, more willing. What if it was something serious? We arrived at the hospital emergency room. It seemed everyone was holding their breath. I heard the doctor whisper to my mother. All I could make out were the words serious, sickness, and watch out. We were all out of the hospital in no time, and everyone released their breath. You tell us if you start to feel bad in any way, my mom whispered to me. I listened intently, hopeful that would be mostly off the hook. Just be careful, my mom said. You'll be all right. The next day I stayed home from school. I spent most of the day in the backyard getting some fresh air and swimming. I watered the plants in the garden and picked ripe, juicy strawberries from the bush. I hoped my mom could. I didn't want to worry her, so I kept my pain a secret. The pains got worse, but not bad enough to tell my mom about. I waited just as I had before. Every time I bent down to pick a flower or water a plant, my throat burned and my stomach growled like I was pulling a pain trigger. I came inside to cool down and rested on the couch. I told my mom I was fine, but the day when I went to the hospital must come again. I was having regular checkups to the doctor and they couldn't feel my pain. They didn't know. Until one day the trigger was pulled and the pain washed over my whole body like hot wax. That day the doctors did an x-ray. I was rushed to the hospital once more, and this time even the doctors held their breath. Honey, you have to tell me if you feel the slightest pain, my mom told me. I was okay once again, but they reminded me to alert them no matter how I felt. I stayed home most of the time now. They were setting up for someone to come to our house to teach me if I didn't come back to school soon. This time was different though. This time I told my mom about every little pain. I couldn't wait for her to realize my pain. I had to pay attention to it. She listened to me no matter how much of her time it took. The conversation must have been important because with the doctor and my mom getting constant updates from me, they could give me the right treatment. Within weeks, I felt better. I no longer kept my pain away from them. Not just because I was worried about myself, but I was worried about my family. What might happen to them if I never got better? It took a lot of their time. They barely had time to put dinner on the table. After several more visits to the doctor, I almost felt myself again. I was motivated to get back to my normal life. My family was happy and everything was back to normal. I was still worried though. What if my sickness came back? But no matter how many doctor visits I had to take, I would get rid of this sickness. Later on, I did get rid of the sickness, and by telling the doctors how I felt and how I felt made the biggest difference, because I helped them work on the cure. The cure would help me and many others to come, and I was back to normal. It was just what I wanted. I only had wanted to be back to normal, back with my family.
All right. So what do you think the lesson was in Grace's story?
Eliza.
Was it to pay attention to what's happening?
Maybe. Be honest about how you're feeling. No. Okay.
People can't read minds, so you have to tell them what you're feeling.
Sort of. Charles.
Speaking up can make a difference.
Kinda. Ethan.
I'll help you on what's going on.
Not really. Jordan. Tell the truth so other people can help you. No. Eliza.
Don't be ashamed of your feelings.
No. Yonatan.
Express your feelings?
No.
Anybody else want to guess?
Don't wait for others to come to you, go to them.